The one that you started in May, you were able to quit your job just 3 months later, you said?
Yeah, so it was largely because, like I said, I always wanted to be an entrepreneur and kind of always had these side hustles going. So I very much planned to take the leap into entrepreneurship. And that was, another thing that I did in that time in between having the idea and actually launching the show. I kind of changed my behavior and started saving up even more, right? And spent a lot of my spare time working on developing the show, and doing research on Philly and stuff like that instead of like going out. Because I was 26 maybe at the time, and so I had a significant amount of savings built up just because I knew that I always wanted to be an entrepreneur, and so. What happened was the first couple of weeks after the show launched, it got a lot of attention. As far as podcast launches go, it did really, really, really well. So I thought, okay, I figured it out. Here it is. Finally, something's working. I was made for this because really podcasting was the confluence of all of my skills, still is. So I was like, this is it. I finally found it. I'm going to take the leap, took the leap. And then there was no looking back, which is a good thing because what I learned just a couple of months after leaving the corporate gig was that I didn't actually know how to get more listeners and monetize. So the early attention that the show got was a lot from my social network. But what I didn't realize is that I didn't have the slightest clue how to get strangers to discover the show regularly and tune in and become fans. And I definitely didn't know how to make money from it. So while it was a big launch, it was this cool moment where I finally became an entrepreneur. The moment that you leave the job is not the end. It's actually the beginning. And it kicked off a long and painful journey to figure out how to actually, turn a podcast into a business that you can live off of. So anyway, that's kind of how that got going. So for about a year, I really struggled with it, but that's how I was able to take the leap so quickly, is that I had sort of prepared to.